really part of it, you know, the whole fake it till you make it thing, a lot of it is about knowing how to act.
Yes.
Looking like you're supposed to be there, and that is a big part of what I'm going to teach.
You mean you're supposed to actually show up on time?
Yes, you are supposed to show up on time, yes.
Yes, there's that too.
We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on the telephone talking a little bit about this incredible opportunity that you're going to have. You're going to tell me how many different cities you're going to be doing this in, because we've got a lot of folks that listen to us all over the country and all over the world.
Yeah, so right now there's the first 17 dates of Luke's tour. I'm doing workshops in all 17 of them. We start actually next week, next Thursday in Birmingham, and I'll be on a tour bus with the crew and with the band going from city to city. We come through Wichita on the February 7th, the Thursday night, and then we go on to North Little Rock. We got Baton Rouge, Greenville, Knoxville, Evansville. We're all over. We're in the Northeast a little bit. We're Hershey, PA, New York City.
Wow.
Worcester, Mass. Yeah, it's going to be a really nice tour, and I've met all of Luke's crew and Luke, and let me tell you, there couldn't be a better group of people to be on the road with. I mean, we're going to be basically living together. That's when you're on tour with an artist, you become a family. And
yes.
These guys are just so awesome, and they've been so accommodating, and I think the people who attend these workshops are really going to enjoy meeting all. You talk about the crew, meeting all those guys, and you know, this is their world, and we're just sort of working around them. So, you know, knowing those guys and putting faces and names to the job is really also a big part of what we do.
It is a heck of an opportunity. One of the things that I also like that you're doing, you mentioned this a little bit earlier when we were talking about the fact that you're going to take them all over the building. It's not just, we're going to go to the photo pit, you shoot the first 3, and good luck. They give you the Miss America wave and send you on your way. You're gonna be taking people up into the stands and showing them how to do those full wide shots. Because, like for instance, you're gonna be at Intrust Bank Arena, and one of the things, like if you go to Intrust's Facebook page, you will notice that a lot of the photographers they've had in the past, they take those shots. And they have the huge full building shots with the band on stage and the lights and the hoopla and everything. And there's a lot of folks that I know here locally and various folks that we talk to, and they're like, man, those are really cool shots. How in the world do you learn how to do that? You're going to learn how to do that with this workshop.
Absolutely. Like I said, at the end of the night, I want you to have a complete body of work that really tells the story of the show. It's not just a tight picture of Luke, you know, with his face in a microphone. Those are important, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
But it's the wide shots. It's detail pictures, right? It might be the hands of the guitar player. It might be the drummer's sticks hitting a drum. It might, you know, there are all kinds of other things that happen. That some of it is obvious to the crowd where they see those things, and other things the crowd might never even see. We're going to have access to see those kinds of things that happen on stage that a lot of people sitting in row 10 aren't going to even see. So that's part of the story of the show. It's not just the obvious shots of full body shots of Luke doing what he does.
Now, something that as a photographer, I've got to get your take on this, especially with some of the things that we're getting ready to go do and all these various things. Way back in the day with concert photography, and even, you know, when I've seen red carpet photography and things like this, you had to have, you know, a Canon camera, or, you know, you had to have the big expensive camera. And a lot of folks, when they show up to do photography, that's what they've got, because they're serious photographers. Several years ago, we went to the AVNs, the Adult Video News Awards out in Las Vegas, and we got to be on the red carpet. And I had a photo pass, and my photographer, Bob Hunter, had a photo pass. And Bob shows up with this really expensive Canon, you know, $700 camera that he's bought. You know, he's ready to go. He's a serious photographer. And standing next to him on either side are guys with their iPhones. And if you were to show up, for instance, at Intrust Bank Arena with an iPhone and go, I got a photo pass coming, they're going to call security and you're going to be escorted from the building.
Yeah,
but on the red carpet for this event, they didn't bat an eye. And I'm like, well, maybe it's just it's the porn industry. It's not a big deal. But then I had another buddy of mine, in fact, our buddy Michael Nagy, who's out in New Jersey now, he got to attend a red carpet premiere for like a Netflix, a big deal, big red carpet deal. Same thing happened. When did we go as photographers from the, I've got my nice expensive, camera with the lenses and the filters and all the stuff, to I just threw my selfie stick and my iPhone in my bag and we're heading out to the red carpet?
Yeah, there's really two kinds of people there, right? Somebody who's an obvious, maybe person who shouldn't be in the pit, who's not working for a professional organization or something like that,
yeah,
and just, taking selfies of themselves with their phone, instead of documenting what's going on. That's not cool. But, in the hands of a talented visual documentarian, you can make some decent pictures with a phone. What a real camera does for you, though, is it gives you a lot more control, right? It gives you the control to be able to get exactly what, set it up in a way that's exactly what you want. You can anticipate what's going to happen. You can focus fast. You can set your exposure exactly how you want. A phone doesn't really give you that kind of control. Interestingly enough, about gear, with these workshops, I'm accepting people of all skill levels. I'm not allowing phones because that's just unprofessional and it won't look good in the pit, right?
Yeah.
If you only have like a point and shoot or maybe a basic DSLR, I will actually have. I am a Canon guy, and I have good relationships with Canon, and there I'm going to actually have a couple of really high-end Canon bodies, like the 1DX Mark II, which is a $6,000 camera, and a couple of lenses that we can share, that the attendees can share, depending on what they have and who needs what. And so they can get a taste of what it's like when I shoot every night using real gear.
That's fantastic. That is. So
thanks to Canon for that, because they are lending me some of that gear for them to be able to use at no charge. So that's going to be pretty cool. So whether they have sort of a low-end DSLR and they want to feel what it's like to shoot at 14 frames a second and at a really high ISO, or maybe they just have a point and shoot, and I'm allowing point and shoots if it goes into manual, because you've got to be able to shoot in manual mode.
Well, yeah.
Really exposed for concerts properly. So if you don't have that kind of control, like a phone or a really basic point and shoot, then that's not gonna cut it. But I will have the gear there for people to try out.
Fantastic. Well,
how can I start?
Jay, I know Jay wants to get in on this, and the big question for the rest of the audience is, how the hell do we get in on this thing, my friend?
Yeah, man. Well, here's the thing. So I can't obviously have 50 people.
Well, yeah, you can't, and I'll tell you, I'm just amazed that Interest Bank Arena is going to let you do something like this, because they are notorious. They are notorious for being negative to photographers. So you are an angel from up above being able to pull this off, my friend. You're a miracle worker.
This is between my relationships and really it's Luke Combs and his management and his people who are letting me do it, because I'm already going to be with him on the road. Yeah. And them allowing me to have some people there. They're going to be under our passes. They're going to have our tour passes.
Well, I think that's awesome, because I've seen these folks turn the local television station away, and I'm like, they're the local TV station. So how do we get in on this? How do we win this contest or be involved in the workshop?
It's not a contest, it's a straight-up workshop, but I'm only taking the first 5 people who sign up. There's only 5 people per show. And the website is Shoot From The Pit. ShootFromThePit.com is the website. It's called Shoot From The Pit, obviously. And you just go right there. It's got a list of all the shows. If you're in Wichita, you want to go to that show, you click on that ticket link, and it'll take you right to the Eventbrite page, and you can sign right up right there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, with this opportunity, besides the the concert photography and everything, what do you I guess when this is all over, what do people get to do with the photos? Because I know that, you know, when we've done things in the past with various, you know, record labels, magazines, what have you, you know, they want copies of the photos, or they want a certain thing, you know, they want approval of the photos or what have you. What do people get to do with the photos? What's the process after this whole thing's over with?
Yeah, so obviously this is something I will be talking about at the show, but
yeah,
there are really very few restrictions, and the only restrictions are really just legal ones, right? So Luke's people have been, again, like I said, very accommodating and very generous. Everything you shoot, you own 100%. You have the copyright. There's no rights-grabbing contracts here. There's no contracts at all. So you own everything. Now, whether you're taking my workshop or shooting anything else, there are some legal issues with all images, right?
Yeah.
Just because you own the copyright doesn't mean you can do anything.
Yeah.
So things like your social media, you know, even editorial publishing is okay. Commercial photography is where things get tricky, because you can't go to a show, let's say, and you're in the front row and you take a picture. You can't then make a T-shirt and sell T-shirts with that photo on it legally without the artist signing a model release, and that usually involves a commercial deal.
Oh yeah.
So those rules still apply no matter what you're doing. But as far as approvals or anything like that, another thing I'm going to teach is about finding the best images, right? Doing the edit and finding the images that are really flattering for the artist. You don't want to put out horrible pictures, right?
Oh,
so
you better believe
part of the process is editing down and finding those best frames. And by putting those out there, if you put those on your own social media, you know, you're talking about Luke, you're talking about the workshop, that's okay. That's good for everybody. So we encourage that. We want people to share their pictures.
That's
talk
fantastic.
About the great experience
That's
have.
fantastic.
So you own it 100%, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you making time for us today. We're going to get this for the folks that came in late or want to hear the information again. We're going to put this audio up on our website, JiggyJaguar.com, and I appreciate you making time for us today, because this is definitely something that I wish years and years ago there were a lot of folks in this area that could have had the opportunity to take advantage of this, because I think it would have made everybody, it makes everybody better.
I appreciate it, man. I wish somebody let me